Alright folks, well hello again. Sorry it's a little late out and I'm going all creepy campfire ghost story mode on you, but that's where we're at right now. So it is, what is the day? It's Thursday, July 10th, 2025. And so it's been about a week since they passed the big stupid bill, and things have kind of blown up in Donald Trump's face a lot, in a lot of ways. So, big stupid bill sucks still, and it funds ICE at a catastrophic level for the United States, and it cuts healthcare. Basically, it decimates our healthcare service and our healthcare system. Those are the two big things it does. It does a lot of other really, really terrible stuff, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the fall of a dictator. And I've been doing research, been doing, investigation and reading, and there's a few pillars that any dictator needs. One of the things they need is a unified base or a unified party to continue to push their agenda, because if they are all in disagreement or disarray, it makes them look weak. Well, Donald Trump is weak, and his party is not, they don't have all their ducks in a row. As you may know, Thom Tillis has said, screw you, Donald Trump, I'm just not going to run for office again, which totally defangs Trump's threats of a primary and also his attempts to cajole. So it gives them a lame duck senator can do a lot of really groovy shit. They can throw wrenches into everything, and Thom Tillis is going to do that. In fact, he threw some wrenches last night in about an hour-long interview with Jake Tapper of CNN. I know I can hear you all groaning already. Regardless, this was a barn burner of a interview. Thom Tillis said to Donald Trump, I'm not gonna do this bullshit about the Trump trying to cajole him and force him into a primary and make him worry about a primary. He said, I'm not gonna put up with this bullshit. That's the quote from his interview with Jake Tapper. Watch it, it's very interesting. Thom Tillis also called Donald Trump's cabinet a bunch of, quote, amateurs. He also said he would not vote to confirm Pete Hegseth again if he knew earlier what he knows now. He's going to town, and he's being real diligent to say, I support the president, but I think those people around him are amateurs. So he is walking a very careful political tightrope, even in his retirement or whatever. But he lit into Donald Trump and his administration. So this is good, and he has said that he's going to do more of this. A couple of questions Jake Tapper asked him, and he was like, well, there'll be plenty of time for me to talk about that too. About more criticisms that he will have, because there's only so much time in an hour. Man, our list goes on. So that is huge. Thom Tillis is a major fracture in the GOP wall of solidarity, wallidarity, all right? Maybe I'm going to use that term from now on. I don't know. Thom Tillis is a major crack. That was last night. Today, we have brand new reporting that says GOP senators are increasingly worried that Senator Joni Ernst is not going to run for re-election. Now, if she does not, that's up in the air still, but if she does not, that is another huge crack for Donald Trump's wall of support. And the reason that's big is for a couple reasons. If Joni Ernst doesn't run again, it opens up another seat in a previously GOP held Senate seat. Excuse me. And so the GOP loses their incumbency advantage, which is a huge advantage in the political world in America. The incumbent usually wins. So without that advantage, it gives Democrats a fighting chance in both North Carolina and maybe Iowa. Further, in Iowa, there's a certain state legislator, I don't know her name, Amy or something, I don't know. She is likely to run for Joni Ernst's seat in the Senate. Now, she's still going to have to make a compelling case against whoever the Democrats run, which may have a chance. But also, the one that is particularly interested in running for Ernst's seat flipped a blue seat in the state Senate or something, which means Democrats could potentially take that seat back. So it's opening up 2 competitive seats in Iowa, one of the competitive swing states in our nation. So that all of these things improve Democrats' chances of taking the House and or the Senate in the midterms. Those are good developments. We've got to keep going. There's more. MAGA is collapsing like hard right now over these Jeffrey Epstein files. Pamela Jo Bondi, the Attorney General, 3 months ago, in response to a question from a Fox News reporter who asked her, "What are you doing with the Epstein client list?" And she said then, "I have it on my desk. It's waiting for review." Much hype, much anticipation, right? They fed the conspiracy theory of MAGA that MAGA was built on. There's no other conspiracy like this one that MAGA has built itself around, because MAGA believed that Jeffrey Epstein had the goods on all of the demon Democrats who were drinking baby blood and committing child sexual acts, right? That's why they shot up the Comet Ping Pong, which I drive by regularly. So this is the MAGA conspiracy of all conspiracies. And now, 2-3 days ago now, something like that, Pamela Jo Bondi has gone and had a news conference and said there is no Epstein list. MAGA's freaking the fuck out. Alex Jones is on camera crying about this. I mean, just one after another, they are all calling for Bondi's resignation or firing. Pam Bondi's in trouble, but she can't do anything. She has to do Donald's bidding. And you know what? Donald is all over that Epstein client list. And that's why I think this is a real cover-up at this point. And it's going to be a real bad one for everybody involved. The cover-up is worse than the crime. And this is a heinous crime. But the cover-up is always worse, because it illustrates that what you knew, what you were doing, you knew what you were doing was wrong, and were willing to go to extraordinary lengths to, prevent that from coming out. So MAGA's melting down. Meanwhile, we've got traditional GOP senators. Don't forget, in the House, you've got Don Bacon, who retired, and Mark Green in Tennessee, also leaving politics. This is what the experts in authoritarianism say is the elite defections. So between MAGA cracking and these stalwart GOP people who gave a glossing over, they gave cover for Donald Trump's authoritarian overreach, those things are cracking. And those are major legs in the stool that holds up authoritarianism. If this continues, Donald Trump loses his support. Authoritarians, dictators, tyrants, they depend on a semblance of authority, of legitimacy. Usually they do that through rigged elections. Donald Trump's probably not going to be able to do that. I think we're going to have elections. He needs them. He needs his Republicans. He needs them to stay in power to help him. And so I think that they're going to try to have elections. I think they're going to try to gerrymander them and, screw with voter rolls and change mail ballots, all of their standard playbook, but like on steroids. But I think they are going to need these elections. So I'm not super worried about that yet. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff they do doesn't make sense unless they're like planning on canceling elections. But I just don't see them being able to cancel elections. They can do other stuff to fuck with it successfully, right? So we'll see. But these are some major cracks in the stool of authoritarianism. So, you know, he's got some real work to do. And this bill that they passed, the budget bill, is extraordinarily unpopular by a factor of 2 to 1. So we are going to hang this around their necks, and we are going to kick all the Republicans out. I say this as a lifelong Republican. I am leaving the party for good. I will not ever support another Republican as long as I live. That you can take that to the bank. Meanwhile, in Texas, there were these massive, catastrophic floods that have killed hundreds of people and hundreds are missing. This, there's at least a partial result of this from NOAA and National Weather Service being defunded. They couldn't get alerts out in time. They were missing critical staff. These are all a result of Donald Trump's DOGE cuts and his restructuring of the federal government, and people are pissed. They know what's happening. Our government exists to protect us, the people, and they are falling flat on their face in Texas, majorly. Now, add to that, the fact that, hospitals are going to close and nursing homes are going to close, and you've got a real recipe for danger for Republicans across the country, even if they do gerrymander. They are struggling real hard. And I want to also just take a minute to explore something even more speculative. I don't think it's reckless, but I do think it's something we should consider. Right now, Putin's regime looks like it is in actual real-time collapse, okay? Their economy is crashing real-time. 20% inflation, 20% interest, 10% inflation. Their economic minister has said we are going towards recession. Putin himself said I'm going to cut back military spending. They can't afford the war anymore. And these sanctions are going to hurt them even more, which, by the way, Donald Trump is starting to change his tune on some of this stuff. And there are a lot of support for these sanctions bill across both parties in Congress. Donald Trump has started to say some things that he's never said before about Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin's in trouble. He is losing the fight on the battlefield. He's losing it economically. He's losing the fight in every way he can lose the fight. They're taking ground here or there, but by and large, the front lines are frozen, and they have been since about 2020, late 2022 or early 2023. Putin's losing. He's becoming increasingly unstable. He is killing all of his leaders, his business leaders. They're falling out of windows. That's the tell-all. That's the classic tell. So, if Putin falls, for whatever reason, let's just entertain this thought a little bit. If Putin falls, his massive disinformation campaign that supports Donald Trump would also fall. And Donald Trump, who loves Putin and looks up to him so much, would see the dramatic failure of his very admired government type that he's trying to institute here. He's trying to follow the Putin playbook, basically. And that would just be another real big blow to him. It would be a blow to him on numerous ways. It would also let NATO, our allies, be able to refocus their efforts, because if Russia falls, then the whole world becomes a better place instantly. Even if there's going to be somebody terrible who comes along and does some stuff later, the whole world becomes instantly better overnight. And so NATO, our allies, can focus on putting the international pressure on America that is appropriate, that they wouldn't have to worry about juggling, arms to Ukraine and stuff like that. They'd still continue building their defenses, but it could add another leg of pressure to the Donald Trump regime in America. And if you start combining that with all of the things that he's facing domestically, things start to look really rocky for him. He's 79 years old. He's not going to live forever, okay? He's got a bruise on his hand from like a permanent IV or something. I don't know. He can't walk straight. He can't string a sentence together. Literally, the guy he's just melting. So, and he does not handle crisis. This Texas thing, he cannot handle crisis. They are incompetent. They don't know how to do stuff. ICE is going to ramp up, and they're going to lash out, of course, because that's what they do. But he is on the back foot in a lot of ways, and there are a lot of warning signs, flashing red alerts for him and his regime. And these elite defections, combined with the MAGA collapse, is a massive, massive, massive problem for him. And I don't think he knows how to get out of it. It's not like this is gonna resolve itself in a day or a week or a month. But these are patterns that we want to see historically. The experts will confirm these things. These are the patterns that we want to see if we hope to defeat fascist takeover in the United States. We are not, we have a long road ahead of us, but we are not cowed. We are not afraid. We know our rights, and we are going to exercise them. We will not let you take over, Donald Trump. So, stand strong, stand fast, keep fighting, keep resisting, support each other, love each other, and remember your ideals. Commit to each other, commit to our nation, and we can get through this, and we will. We have a lot of wins stacking up. Judges just implemented a new nationwide injunction against the birthright citizenship, now as a class action, which the Supreme Court said they could do. So the losses are stacking for Donald. We are having plenty of assaults on us. The biggest one that we are facing right now is this ICE stuff, if you ask me. Different people might say different things, but I think the ICE stuff is the biggest threat for us. But we are experiencing victories daily, also setbacks daily, but any fight is going to have victories and setbacks. And so we will continue. We are not afraid, and we are just going to keep fighting for what we believe in. And we believe in self-governance and, human rights. So keep fighting, America. I love you. God bless all of you. Till next time.